Hello everyone, today I have an exciting video for you all. I will be providing a deeper look into an altcoin I believe has strong potential to grow 10 to 20x in the near future. But before I get into that, I want to show you how I find gems in general and why I think this project fits the bill, the narrative that will power exponential growth for this project, and why the fundamentals look so great. We'll also discuss potential price targets. I stated that I don't like making my primary holdings large cap tokens on the first page of CoinMarketCap. This is because it takes more money overall to multiply your investment. If the token you're buying is already at 20 billion market cap, it's going to take another 20 billion to double your money. So for example, here is the market cap column. If you put $1,000 into Solana and wanted to turn that into 2,000, you would need another $129 billion for that to happen. For all of you XRP maxis out there, if you wanted to turn your $1,000 into $10,000, you would need to have $1.8 trillion of investment in that. So what I like to do is find an established blockchain on the first page and then go looking for projects building on that network that have promise for adoption. For those of you who are around from the last cycle, you will know that the primary narratives were LOL, NFTs, and metaverses. But for the techies, most narratives were around layer 2, Ethereum scaling solutions, which is the second largest digital asset by market cap, sitting at just over $500 billion. Now we will go into the project that I found at that time. Enter Metis. Imagine this. The current belief is that Ethereum is the most dominant smart contract blockchain, but its biggest problem is cost to perform transactions and the speed at settling those transactions. A project then comes to market promising to fix these issues, and one of the co-founders is the mother to Vitalik Buterin, who is the co-founder of Ethereum. And I will be a little bit honest, it got a little insane how that became an entire driving narrative that Vitalik's mom is in crypto and that she was a co-founder of this project. Here she is here. Now we're going to look at fundamentals. I entered this project, I specifically remember getting in under 100 million market cap. I believe it was around 60 or 80 million market cap at the time. So let's look at this chart and look at the market cap. Yeah, so this was October, mid-October 2021. And the price at that time was, moving the chart back, yeah, 30, 40, $50 roughly. And it would go on to 10x or almost 10x. Well, I guess it did if you got in at 30 roughly, or in time the Pico top, which is impossible to do. Don't try it. You want to capture 70% of the move, not 100. That's how you blow up your bag. But the point is, it did 10x from the price I got in at. Because I caught the narrative, I bought early, and then I just held. Too many people blow up their bag jumping around. So that is the strategy I use. Find a project. Metis, in this case, was a smaller narrative built on top of Ethereum. Now we're going to go to ZBCN, which was built on top of Solana, and why I think that's a great project to get in on. So now to Zebic Network, or ZBCN. If you remember what I said earlier in the video, to double one's money, the market cap needs to double. And I said I don't like buying things on the first page because the market cap on those projects is already too high. I believe Solana is, what is Solana at the moment? $128 billion. So we'll take another $128 billion to double your money. Well, when you find these smaller market caps, yes, they're more aspirational and speculative in nature, but as long as the project is solid and the narrative is there, there is potential to ride those gains, just like I did with Metis. We see this market cap is under 500 million, which is a really, really good spot. And we'll also notice the chart is moving bullishly with the market. I've spoken in previous videos how the fear and greed indicator is your number one driver of whether to buy, sell, hold, stand on the sidelines, etc. We were deep in fear well, not deep. We were a little bit in fear over here 2 or so weeks ago. Now we're moving beyond neutral and attempting to get into greed, but we're not there yet. So it's still an okay time to buy, in my opinion. But you'll notice the price of Zebic Network is moving positively with that market. That means as the market goes into extreme greed, it is likely this price is going to move with it. It's also in a 460 market cap, so it's very easy to double, triple, quadruple its price. Again, that sounds like a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of the crypto market, let's even skip the first page. Let's go to the second page. The second page, you're starting to look at 400. Actually, here, Zebec Network is on the second page. See, that is a good, this is a good play. That means it's still somewhat in that vibe of being a hidden narrative. But once you consider the fact of the narrative that it plays a part of, one, it being built on Solana, so it's already built on a protocol that has a strong an adoption rate. It's also playing in that realm of XRP, and these are sitting at 181 billion and 128 billion respectively. So here I use AI to compare XRP to Zebec Network to help you all better understand the two protocols and what separates them. XRP is its own protocol, it's its own blockchain. Ripple is the technology it uses. ZBCN is the technology or the protocol, but it's built on the Solana blockchain. So ZBCN or Zebec is not its own blockchain. It's built on Solana. It has its own protocols, however. XRP has its own consensus mechanism. Consensus means how the entire network draws a conclusion to the information on the network. Zebex uses Solana. The primary use case for XRP is its cross-border payments, bank settlements, and liquidity provision for financial institutions. Zebex is real-time streaming payments, programmable payroll, retail products, and on and off-chain financial flows. The key driver, in my opinion, is real-time streaming payments. I think in the future with streaming, YouTube, etc., people are going to be paid on a per second, per minute basis rather than bi-weekly, etc. We're moving as far as future looking. Real-time streaming payments is a very exciting space, and again, I think this serves into what sets this blockchain apart and makes it so viable as an option to invest in for future appreciation. And then there's just some performance metrics down here that I don't think is too important. Ecosystem and adoption. XRP established with institutional bank partnerships. Banks using RippleNet, over 70 million ledgers, close reliably. Community-driven development, including smart contracts, blah, blah, blah. Newer focus on Web3 integration with products like crypto cards and enterprise payroll backed by investors like Coinbase and Solana Ventures. Serves hundreds of companies, and I think that's proven here on their website. Partners and clients: JP Morgan, Bank of America, Visa, MasterCard, Solana, USDC, Circle, Stellar, XLM, Near, Binance, Base, Ethereum. These are big groups, very familiar groups. So this is all a good sign. So the so the last thing I want to speak to as far as why this is a good buy is the regulation portion. My background is I've been in risk management and auditing for a top 5 bank in the United States, a top 10 crypto exchange in the world, and a top 5 auto manufacturer in the world. I have done many audits, many risk assessments, and can tell you these certifications and regulations like SOC 2 and ISO are extremely important to do business in your respective fields. SOC 2 is more of a general checklist to make sure the business is legitimate. Yes, we do background checks on employees. Yes, we have vulnerability scanners. No, we don't have share passwords around, like this sort of thing. That's what a SOC 2 audit does. ISO has several different audits that you can do. My experience is in 27001, which is information security, but they're speaking to ISO20022, which is a new certification or a new ISO standard for messaging across different financial protocols, essentially. It says here ISO20022 is an international standard prepared by ISO Financial Services. It describes a common platform for the development of messages. XRP is ISO. There's a whole group of ISO relevant crypto right now. ISO 20022 crypto. Let me just find out what that is, or which ones are ISO 20022 compliant as of now. I'll let that cook and go back to MiCA, which is a big one. This is a European Union standard for regulating unregulated markets. It's weird. So here we are on the European Securities Markets Authority website. This is what MiCA is: Markets in Crypto Assets Regulation. The Markets in Crypto Asset Regulation, MiCA, institutes uniform EU market rules for crypto assets. The regulation covers crypto assets that are not currently regulated by existing financial services legislation. So I guess this is the front running regulatory body to put controls around safeguarding European Union citizens. If you know anything about the EU, they're jumping in front of all sorts of regulations, which is why GDPR was so impactful for data privacy. Here's a list of ISO 20022 compliant cryptocurrencies, by the way: XRP, XLM, Cardano, Algorand, IOTA, Quants. These are some of the big ones you'll see on YouTube where they're like, oh my God, they're going on 100x. And no, they're not, because the market cap are too high on these projects already. It's not viable. But if you find a project that will be ISO 20022 compliant and you get in early enough, like we have for Zebic here, there is possible to ride that wave. And as we see, it looks like they're trying to get that by the end of 2025. I also know they're working on some partnerships with the NHL and NBA. I'm not sure if I can find any of those posts immediately, but what I do know is they were just in Germany for Sibos, which was Swift's big conference for financial technology innovation, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot going on right now for Zebic, and it's an extremely exciting time. And I think it is a great time. This is a strong potential to 10x, given where it is right now. Overall, yes, oh, it would have been great to get in way back here. You would have already been up, but you're not buying the top. If anything, again, you want to look at the fear and greed indicator. We have not touched extreme greed anywhere near yet. What you can do, if you want, is try to find a dipping point to buy in. I said I was going to talk about price targets. This is at 0049. I think a 10x would just put this at 0.4. And that would put this at a 4.5 billion market cap. How possible is that? Well, what is currently at 4 billion? Aave, the meme coin, a meme coin, Aster is almost at 4 billion, Tau. And again, all of these projects are probably going to be closer. I don't expect these to 10x themselves, but 4xing, 5xing from current market. When it gets to peak euphoria, I'm expecting this whole batch to be somewhere in 20 billion territory. And if Zebec is already on a page 2 and already in the hunt, where was Zebec? Right here. It's already in the middle of page 2. So it's already climbing up that ladder of relevance. And as these catalyst events come into fruition here, namely the regulatory stuff, I think it's in a great position to multiply your money. And if you found the video helpful, feel free to like it or don't. I really don't care. Have a great day.